welcome back to Sisters of Caminus. That's the name of the channel.
Yes.
That's the new name.
Yes.
Yeah. And here we are with the different setup, a slightly ramshackle little setup. We got a second camera there. Light cam.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not for long.
We just unboxed this last episode.
Yeah. We've just unboxed the new collection from Skybound, the collected Transformers Marvel comics, and now we're gonna dive in. We're gonna have a look at the very first issue. Isn't that right?
Yep.
Also, we should introduce ourselves. Haven't we introduced ourselves? You're Jessica.
Jessica, the Transmetal Alchemist.
Transmetal Alchemist. And I'm Lilly Queen. Yeah. We're Sisters of Caminus.
Yeah.
So, Transformers
Sweet Soulless Prime.
Sweet Soulless Prime.
Soulless Prime.
That's who we worship.
Yeah.
So the Marvel Comics.
Yep.
What do you know about the Marvel Comics, Jess?
Marvel is a comic book publishing company.
Yeah. Transformers Marvel Comics.
And they were published at some point.
1984.
Right.
Yeah. The very beginning. In fact, this first issue came out before the cartoon, so this is the very first ever piece of Transformers media.
Right.
Yeah. It came out, it had a street date of September, which was the same month that the cartoon was going to premiere. But in those days, the street date was actually, it was a bit of a complicated thing where the comic would actually come out 5 months before the street date. This is to do with the old-fashioned ways that things were sold, with newspapers, I don't know, it's a whole thing. You can look up that, you can learn about that. But so this came out in May.
Right.
And you can actually read a review made in that same month back on the internet.
Yeah. Ruined Forever?
Yeah. I believe someone tracked down that person and interviewed them a couple of years ago. That's a great video on YouTube you can check out. So you've never read any Transformers comics, Jess?
Correct.
And so you have no idea what you're in for?
Correct.
And you kind of struggle to read comics, yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
There's a lot of comics that are very poorly written, I found, where
you struggle to follow them, how to follow the paneling, the layouts.
Yeah, that all seems like it's very counterintuitive. Sometimes I feel like the way that the panels are set up, the way that drawings are interbleeding into different panels, that there are drawings outside of the panels, the fact that the talking bubbles are in a particular order, and that you have to make sure you it feels like it's designed to be flashy, over accessible, where you're meant to just be impressed by how clever the designer was rather than enjoy the story.
And then you get even more confused if you have to read some manga, and then you're going to read in the opposite direction. That's a whole other thing for you to remember.
The thing is, I spent so much time reading comic strips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Peanuts. You love your Peanuts. You like
Peanuts was the best. And
Dilbert.
Garfield.
You love Garfield, yeah.
So, and I know that if you want to get a simple point across, which jokes are designed to be simple on purpose so you can see the comedy.
Yeah.
It's so...
I mean, the Peanuts is a masterclass in the elegant simplicity of the joke. And
yeah. So I know what comics are meant to look like when they're easy to understand. But
yeah, it's a bit different with comics that are these action-adventure stories.
Also, I found that graphic novels, if there's a particular idea that they want to get across that's very complicated, they'll just have prose separate to the drawings. They won't try to cram a humongous dialogue box into a panel. They'll let's just put it on a separate page so that you can actually appreciate the complicated lore over here and the drawings over here.
Well, I mean, I'm of the opinion that comics shouldn't have too many words. It's a visual medium, and you should focus more on the storytelling with the visuals.
Yeah.
So I'm this first issue does not quite agree with me. There's quite a lot of words in this first issue, so I'm a little nervous because I'm going to have to read it. I'm going to have to perform it, and there's
So yes,
So
the only comics I've ever enjoyed is the Inuyasha manga because it's
well,
very simple.
A lot of manga tends to have less focus on words. Like it tends to be more like what I just said, more focus on the visual storytelling.
And it seems to have less flashiness of trying to be clever for its own sake.
Okay. I mean, mangas are pretty flashy, but maybe in a different sort of way to what you mean. So we should explain what we're going to do here.
Yes.
I'm going to be performing the comic for
Yeah.
you. Yeah, for your benefit and the benefit of our lovely viewers.
Yep.
And we have no idea how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Is this going to be fun? Is this going to be worthwhile, interesting? Am I going to be able to keep up with this stamina-wise?
Yeah.
So, who knows how long this series will go for?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who knows how quickly I will destroy my vocal cords? There's a fair bit of Megatron in this issue. So, is there anything more to say? Should we just dive in? Or...
You've told me that there are a lot of big names in the Transformers wider community who basically argue that the best stories that are told in the whole franchise come from the comic.
Yes. There's a lot of love for the comics, and plenty of it starts in these Marvel comics. I mean, IDW have obviously been a very big deal in their long run, and there's a lot of people that love the current stuff. But there's a huge amount of love for the Marvel comics. I guess it is worth talking about a bit that, the Marvel comics, you're going to find that they're very different from the cartoon that they ran alongside, both starting from the same basis, same character bios written, by Bob Budiansky. Bob Budiansky, he wrote the bios for the characters working at Marvel, but he's actually the writer of the comic.
Right.
So he's writing about the characters that he conceived.
Right.
And in the cartoon, some of those characters, their outlines were just ignored or changed. Shockwave is a completely different character. And a lot of people have argued that the Marvel comics take the storytelling a lot more seriously, although, there's arguments about that. Some people say that there is, some terribly silly stuff, especially in the Bob Budiansky run before it switches to Simon Furman. But, yes, it'll all be really fascinating to see. I mean, comics, there's a lot less strict in terms of the storytelling you can do compared to the cartoon, which, a cartoon in the 80s, it just needs to be, very simple, fun, action-adventure stuff that will just keep kids interested. There wasn't a great emphasis on storytelling, on narrative, on character. So, yeah, are you intrigued by that?
Yeah.
About the differences that we can do with the story in this medium?
Obviously, G1 obviously had a lot of restrictions on what type of stories they could tell.
Yeah.
The fact that they were mandated to introduce certain characters at certain times, depending on...
That is also something that the comics do have to struggle with, though. That is sometimes a bit more of a struggle because the comics have less issues coming out, but there's so many toys coming out, so...
Suddenly this guy called Jetfire shows up, and
now he's gone.
Now he's gone.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. There is a bit of that, but, yeah.
Omega Supreme shows up and then disappears.
Well, yeah, we'll find out about that.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Also, because of the nature of cartoons, there has to be an enormous amount of continuity. So it means that there's a status quo that is pretty much always adhered to.
Yeah. There's more opportunities for long-running narratives in the comic.
Yeah. Okay.
Character arcs. Yeah. So, yeah. Is there anything else that needs to be said?
But maybe if we remember it, we'll
just bring things up along the way. Yeah. I'll perform this, but Jess, you interrupt wherever you want. We can interrupt and talk about things, anything sticks out to us, anything noteworthy, anything silly, anything weird. Be very
Why
interesting.
is the font so thick?
Yeah?
It seems to be designed to be difficult to read.
It is a little hard to read, and of course these scans are a little fraught with flaws, where some typos have come about because of how the scans have been upscaled, and But I did compare some of those examples to the originals, the scans that I have, and I did notice that I could see why they came out so weird through the scanning, because I looked at how I could see what the words were meant to be in the original, but they were, they were written in a in a way where it's like, yeah, that's a little unclear. I can see why a computer messed that up.
Right.
So yeah, there is a lot of narration. We're gonna find that's gonna be that's gonna be tough. so
What's
here
your narrator voice going to be?
Oh, you'll find out in a second. So here's the first cover. This is an iconic and bizarre cover with a giant kaiju Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not Transformers. This seems like he's in a monster movie where he's the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it fascinating to see early interpretations of what Transformers would be? People don't really know exactly what this is going to be yet.
Who are those humans?
Well, those are the two humans we're going to meet, who are not Spike and Sparkplug, but well, they kind of are. But you'll see, you'll meet them.
It sure looks like the kid from Home Alone and Jimmy Carter.
I thought it looked a bit more like Ronald Reagan.
Mm.
He does look like a president, doesn't he? Yeah. Do you think that because these look much more realistic than the actual drawings we're going to see in the comic? Do you think that these two images are based on photos of real people?
Maybe.
It sure looks like it. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder who are the models. And this design of Optimus does not match his toy or his cartoon model, but it does match incredibly the prototype of his toy. So this artist was given a picture of the prototype.
Hmm.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
So number 1 in a 4-issue limited series.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. Remember that there will be a quiz later.
Okay.
75 cents. You get this. 1st of September. That's the street date.
Right.
Yeah. Approved by the Comics Code.
Yep.
Very good. All right. Let's begin.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Circling the star Alpha Centauri ages ago was a planet unlike any other in the heavens, Cybertron.
We actually name which star system Cybertron is in?
Alpha Centauri.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's always been kept vague.
No rock or soil or sand contributed to its bizarre geography. Its content was entirely mechanical. Cybertron existed from metallic surface to core as a vast Saturn-sized machine world, a world whose origins were lost in the dead past. Yet, life had evolved here. It had grown and adapted and thrived in its environment remarkably well. And cities rose across a broad mechanical expanse, cities that were the products of Cybertron's dominant life form, the Autobots. Whereas life elsewhere in the cosmos usually evolved through carbon bonding, here it was the interaction of naturally occurring gears, levers, and pulleys that miraculously brought forth sentient beings.
There we go.
There's the line.
Yeah.
Anything to say about that?
This isn't obviously the time to fully discuss this, but I'm sure that you can come up with a perfectly good sci-fi wibbly-wobbly explanation for how Cybertron could come about and Transformers could come about organically, that there is no reason that life has to be based in the same way that life exists on Earth, that on a different type of planet that's more heavily based on heavier metals, that metallic life could come about, but it wouldn't evolve in the same way that machines evolved on Earth. It would go straight through a more direct path to metal men. It wouldn't need to go.
They're not ghosts. They're metal men.
So the idea of basic machines of pulleys and levers wouldn't make any sense on a world that's completely metal. So I think that's a bit silly. But I think the idea of metallic life is perfectly sound in a science fiction sense.
Well, I mean, that's the same in the cartoon. They say that life existed, mechanical life, but that's all they say. They don't go any further into it at that point. Later, we find out it's a very different origin.
Yeah.
They created a mechanical paradise, a machine-filled landscape where each Autobot went about his pursuits in peace and prosperity.
Oh, it's all very nice. It's lovely. Yeah? What could go wrong?
But every paradise has its serpent, and on this world it was Megatron, commander of those who called themselves the Decepticons.
And here we have Megatron and Soundwave and beloved Covert Agent
Ravage.
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 Look at them below, contented fools ripe for our conquest.
Wait.
Are you a
Ravage is the first line?
Ravage is the first person who ever spoke in Transformers.
Wow.
Now you can see why we brought him back for Beast Wars. And he speaks also. He speaks in this version.
Yeah.
Are you happy with me giving him the Beast Wars voice?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
And he's Megatron's confidant, which doesn't that fit perfectly with what we saw in Beast Wars, how close he was to Megatron?
Yeah.
Do you think they consulted this more than they did the cartoon?
That's
Larry and Bob were definitely aware of the comics.
Okay.
They did like the comics. Larry, I think, particularly liked the comics.
Indeed, Ravage. We have lived peacefully with the Autobots for eons, slowly, secretly gathering our strength and pursuing our technology. Now we shall strike at those who have brought the stagnation of peace and plenty to Cybertron. They shall learn the way of conflict, the way of war, the way of Megatron.
Already regretting this idea.
What?
Why did I choose to do this? So Megatron has an interesting idea. Everything is lovely and peaceful and plentiful. Let's get rid of that. That's terrible.
Yep.
What do you think of his motivations?
Pretty dumb.
Also bizarre looking Megatron face here.
What a classic comic book type of line where
Yeah.
the idea of like concision, getting this fundamental core point across and letting the audience figure out all of the details. No. We'll just have to spell it out for them, explain everything so that there's no doubt of anything.
Yeah, maybe we should have had more doubts, then there'd be less text for me to read. It's just gonna go on. Look at these boxes.
Oh my.
Look at all these boxes. Oh, why did I choose to do Victor Corrali?
Yeah.
In the weeks that followed, Decepticons from everywhere reported for clandestine meetings to learn the logistics of the coming clash and their parts in the struggle. The wonders of their technology bestowed upon the Decepticons the awesome ability to transform into weapons of unprecedented power. With these tasks completed, all was in readiness for the first assault. Strike! Strike! With all the might at our command! Death to the Autobots and the decay they stand for! The war spread until it was a global conflict. The forces unleashed were staggering, inconceivable, and each attack upon an Autobot stronghold was orchestrated with the precision of which only finely tuned machinery is capable. As the powers at play grew in strength, Cybertron itself was shaken loose from its orbit and sent hurtling through space.
What?
Oh boy, we're not wasting time. It's just madness immediately.
What?
Yeah.
And still the war raged across the battle-scarred surface of the runaway planet. Though taken by surprise and destroyed by the billions in the initial assaults, the surviving Autobots were not defenseless. Each was gifted with the ability to alter his configuration into strange, unearthly vehicles of great offensive potential, and while the Decepticons in their armored aircraft shapes swooped down upon the many Autobot city-states erected during the war, the Autobot warriors stood firm and fought back. In time, the magnificent armies on each side of the struggle became known as the Transformers.
If this was a TV show, the title
Roll credits.
Oh, here are the credits.
Down.
Plot by Bill Mantlo. Script by Ralph Macchio. Pencils by Frank Springer. Inks by Kim DeMolder. Lettering by Hassan and Parker. Coloring by Nelson Yamtav. Editor Bob Budiansky. Editor-in-Chief Jim Shooter.
Wouldn't it be awesome if all credits were read out by Victor Corrali? So you asked what narrator I was going to go with.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Well, it's classic.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't get this much to say in the cartoon.
No.
Oh boy. Wow. So much narration, and it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going.
Oh my god.
I mean, there are a lot of comics that are known for just having lots of narration panels to spell out what's happening. And, yeah. So yeah, that's we've set the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the storytelling so far?
So I feel like giving your big villain a motivation for why they do these things.
He didn't have any motivation in the cartoon.
Yeah.
He's just evil. At least they've given him something. They try.
Yes. I feel like it's really important.
Sure. Yep. All the great Spider-Man villains have got a great motivation.
Yeah. So and that's why ever since there's been such an attempt at making sure that Megatron has a coherent motivation. Even if he's evil, even if he's vile, at least we understand why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, these comics are going to evolve in some amazing ways. And I didn't mention earlier, but a big part of that is the UK side of it. And we've got the collected works of both US and UK here merged together. And in the UK comics, they did some interesting stuff with his backstory to massage this initial motivation.
Yeah.
And it laid the groundwork of what we now know as the classic Megatron backstory today.
Okay.
It begins in the Marvel comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not in the US, right? Not in these issues. The first 4 issues are US. After the first 4 issues, then we'll be divulging into UK and US merged together.
Okay.
All right.
Despite the valor of the Autobots, the Decepticons had planned the pattern of the war too well. Autobot casualties mounted everywhere, and in the forefront of the most devastating attacks stood the malevolent Megatron, whose deadly fusion cannon spewed endless streams of energy that laid waste to entire Autobot strongholds. Soon we Decepticons will have ground our enemies under our heel, and we shall begin our prime task, rebuilding Cybertron into a cosmic dreadnought. We shall turn our very planet into the single most deadly weapon in existence. Then let the universe beware.
Yeah?
Yep.
But from Iacon, greatest of city-states, there came a leader to inspire the Autobots in their hour of deadly peril. Optimus Prime. Of all the Autobots, only he, wise and powerful beyond understanding, was able to unite the scattered warriors into a fully effective fighting force. Using his ability to transform into a combat vehicle, Optimus possessed a firepower potential that none but Megatron could match.
It's an interesting Cybertronian vehicle form Optimus has in this issue, which has never been seen again. They've never made a toy of that.
Under the leadership of Optimus Prime, the Autobots repelled the Decepticons' assault with renewed vigor, and rebuilt their fallen city-states until again they functioned as sanctuaries. And so the war raged for over 1,000 years, as Cybertron continued its mad rush through the cosmos.
We still haven't put the planet back in orbit.
Oh my god.
We're too busy fighting. 1,000 years. At least it's not millions.
Yes.
Until came the day when danger threatened from without as well as within. Cybertron's course had placed it directly into the path of an asteroid belt. Autobot astronomers relayed the danger instantly. A meeting of the Autobot elders was called. And that is what confronts us, my friends. The homeworld will perish unless we act now.
Generic, wise old man voice.
Yeah.
Whether racked by war or not, this is our world, sire. One day we will reclaim it, but first the threat must be met. I shall lead a specially selected group into space itself to clear a path through the asteroids. But there is another danger. Our flight will expose us to the attack of the Decepticons. Those accompanying me might all perish in the attempt to save Cybertron, but I shall be there to meet the enemy should he strike.
Optimus?
Optimus?
What do you think? What do you think of Optimus's first lines?
Yeah.
Is he Optimus?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a bizarrely toyetic prow over here without any legs. Designed verbatim like the toy.
Yeah.
It's an interesting mix in this issue where there's some bits where characters are their cartoon models and some bits where they're just toys. The artist we're getting different bits of documents of, exactly what they needed.
Yeah.
It's all early days.
Yeah.
Teething problems.
So so Transformers, original G1 Transformers, has always been this allegory between what could be loosely called liberal capitalist democracy versus militaristic fascism, where Megatron represents the idea that the best way to make an efficient society is through top-down engineering, control, abandoning all free will, controlling people through brute terror, and making sure that everything runs perfectly efficiently, and that's why they're all military vehicles, and this
And as he's saying here that he doesn't like the way, even though society is pleasant, he doesn't like it because it's not as powerful as it would be if it was all a war machine.
Yeah, so Megatron wants to turn it into a junta, whereas the Autobots represent the idea of
Preserving the status quo?
yeah, but the idea that popular public engineering and government is the best way forward, which is why all of the Autobots are civilian vehicles. They're often very important vehicles like construction vehicles or trucks.
Not from the Constructicons. They're evil.
They should be Autobots.
Well, they were originally.
Yes.
Depending on who you ask.
And so that's the groundwork from which the original story is built.
Leave it to Jess to come up with this great political analysis. You don't get this on most Transformers YouTube channels.
And so, in the cartoon, the original mission is to try to find energy, which is obviously to do with civil engineering, and this is to do with protecting the public from an asteroid field, which is also a type of civil engineering.
Yeah.
So Optimus is maintaining.
The Autobots are builders.
Yeah, the Autobots are builders and engineers, which is something that got lost in the Netflix show. Suddenly, Optimus is just a military leader.
I don't know how much they were thinking about the original,
which is why
early lore of the comics.
I have so much sympathy for animated.
Yeah,
because
they
don't have weapons.
Yeah, they're a construction crew.
They're a construction crew.
Yeah. Well, I knew this was going to be great. This is fantastic. But do you think, in the context of the time when this was made, 1984, is there anything interesting about? I mean, I don't think this was a conscious political statement. I mean, these things rarely are. But being able to read something like that into it politically in the context of 1984 is that interesting at all? In the time of Reaganomics? Or not?
I'm not sure.
Something to think about.
Okay. Unknown even to Optimus, his words were heard by the Decepticon Ravage, whose detection by any monitoring device was virtually impossible.
Ravage
is back.
Not Laserbeam.
No, it's all about Ravage in this issue.
Megatron will be pleased to hear of this, I am certain.
Welcome back, Ravage.
Unlike some of my other followers, you never fail me. The Autobots labored to construct a craft that would propel them into the void. A craft dubbed the Ark.
It's kind of the wrong metaphor.
In future media, the Ark has been like a way for the last remaining Autobots to get off Cybertron, which really makes sense with the name. But in both the cartoon and this version, it isn't called the Ark in the cartoon, but obviously it was conceived as the Ark for both versions. It doesn't really makes sense. You know, a mission to find energy being called the Ark, or a mission. It makes even less sense for a mission to just destroy some asteroids to be called the Ark. But it's been retroactively made sense in later stuff. Yeah. So you're surprised that it was called the Ark right from day one.
Yeah.
You thought maybe that was something they invented in Beast Wars, because it was never named in the cartoon. Never named. It's just the Autobot base when they're on Earth. It's just called the base.
And it doesn't, the metaphor doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Well, what about this one?
Meanwhile, inside the foreboding Castle Decepticon that was home to Megatron.
He has a way with names, old Megatron.
It's a castle?
Castle Decepticon.
What? So he's just like Doctor Doom, or
Sure, why not?
You have done well, Ravage. Your abilities to absorb electromagnetic radiation and thus remain undetected are enviable qualities.
classic comic book dialogue.
Yeah. Hold that thought. Hold that to the big splash page. Hold that on. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
And ever shall they be in the service of the Decepticon Empire, my lord.
And he means that. He'll mean that to the last, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that you never waver, Master of Stealth. All too often the nature of the spy is to weigh his loyalties and switch when he feels the time is right.
Jeez, Megatron, get a grip.
Oh my god.
This guy is your best friend. Yeah? Is he as paranoid as Stalin?
Never, great Megatron. Now, what is our course of action?
It's bewildering. Talk about manufactured tension.
I know, but it's also over so quickly as well.
Oh,
It's okay. It's issue 1.
issue one.
We're having fun.
We shall construct our own spacecraft, pursue Optimus and his fools into space, and strike when they are weakest, after completed task.
No name for their ship. That will come in Beast Wars. Yeah?
Yep.
The death of their beloved ruler will so demoralize the remaining Autobots that their surrender will be a certainty. Ahead, the sons of Cybertron unleashed a celestial display of power seldom seen, as huge chunks of spaceborne rocks were pulverized, clearing the necessary pathway. And inside the spacecraft, fellow Autobots, we have succeeded through your great efforts, and soon our world will pass safely through this dangerous segment of space and travel near the lifeless third planet of this solar system before going beyond. Let us rejoice in our achievement as we return to Cybertron, and let us redouble our efforts to end the slaughter that has consumed our world for so many centuries. We must make peace with the enemy, with the Decepticons.
What do you think about that? Make peace.
Yeah. That's much better than the theme song.
Also, the drifting planet means they've drifted right near Earth, so we don't actually need to explain how they got from some planet galaxies away to Earth in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
Of course, it does mean, dealing with a planet falling out of orbit and drifting through the galaxy, which is equally ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which, of course, ends up happening in the cartoon anyway. It does eventually do that too.
But the words of Optimus Prime were lost in the sudden din. The surprise attack violently shook the Ark and its occupants. Swiftly, the Autobots regrouped and retaliated, but their efforts were impossible to sustain. We're too weak after the exertion of destroying the asteroids. Our firepower, no match. Even the safety of the Ark was insufficient. Our hull is breached. Prepare to resist Decepticon boarding party. But the Decepticons were fresh, fully fueled for the battle.
Or as it says in this edition, fully fublio. Like I said, this is one of those mistakes that wasn't in the original, but if you read the original, it is very poorly written, the lettering. So it didn't take a lot to turn it into fublio, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
See, it's meant to be an E, but then it's slightly connected into becoming a B. Fully fueled.
Right.
And the D was a bit too round and ended up as an O. Fublio.
Fublio.
And the enervated Autobots were cut down where they stood.
Uh-huh.
I'd never heard the word enervated before I read this. Do you know that word? Means without energy.
Oh, yeah.
My computations show defeat is imminent within 5.7 minutes. Optional courses of action include: we have but one course open to us, Prowl, most trusted of my advisors.
Click.
I had anticipated such a move by the Decepticons. The Ark and its secrets must never fall into enemy hands, so I plotted an alternate course that would take us on a suicidal heading, directly into the third planet of this solar system. Farewell, my friend. Though we die, at least our enemies are taken with us.
Wow.
Yeah?
Kamikaze mission.
Yeah.
God.
What do you think of this, Optimus?
It's interesting. It's totally it hasn't been supported yet.
Okay.
Like I'd love to have had some material beforehand to explain.
We'll fill that in later.
Later?
What about the Ark and its secrets? Is there more to the Ark?
Is it?
Questions for later. And when I say later, I mean very late.
Omega Supreme.
I mean very later. I mean like retroactive 30 years later publishing type of later. No, we'll get there.
All right.
The impact was awesome. Huge clouds of dust and ash blanketed the nearby terrain as the spacecraft embedded itself in the volcanic mountain. I'm going to start speaking quicker now to get through all of this narration. Silence for over 4 million years. Nothing disturbed the crypt-like atmosphere within the dormant structure. And then, like a sleeper rudely awakened, the volcano erupts in a crescendo of explosive brilliance. Vashtroom.
That's what it says there.
The eruption uncovers an object buried some 40,000 centuries ago, an alien object pocked and pitted by the passage of time, time which has changed the face of this planet and those who dwell upon it. The currently dominant species has named this world they rule Earth, this volcano Mount St. Hilary. They have marked the movement of time numerically, as it is reckoned the date is 1984. But all that means nothing here. Time and place have seemingly little significance to those who lay within this rotting hulk. The shroud of darkness has descended again here, and perhaps another 4 million years. Perhaps not.
So, humans denote the year numerically,
As opposed to
as
Transformers.
opposed to denote it some other way.
The Transformers denoted a different way.
Like what?
Through Vaughns. They're not numeric, maybe.
Pinpricks of light appear inside the craft, and the barely audible hum of machinery awakened by the titanic blast. Beacons flare, probing the darkness, illuminating the dank cavernous walls. In the side of the great ship, a hatch that has remained closed for millennia now opens. From it, a device is launched forth. It is a sensor drone. Its mission, gather data for transmission back to the Ark.
We could have just told this all visually, as we did in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Everything here is very familiar to you, of course, yes?
Yeah.
The scout craft relays its telemetry to the mothership. Although it was state-of-the-art technology when designed, its databanks possess only the capability of perceiving mechanical life forms. Thus, the many carbon-based species pass below unnoticed by the active drone. Sensors confirm this is not Cybertron, nor any world in the Alpha Centauri star system. Scanning sequence continuing. Finally, miles from its point of origin, the probe picks up signals from what its logic circuits say must be one of this planet's indigenous life forms. The configuration bears a striking resemblance to Decepticon attack forms. The drone swiftly plots its return to the Ark. Forests teeming with countless life forms appeared literally... Is it meant to be literally, or is literally a word?
Oh dear, that
sure.
should be.
Anyway, they appeared dead to the
Be
drone.
literally.
Literally dead to the drone. But an Argon interstate highway sends a stream of data back into the Autobot probe, almost overloading its circuits with information. Functionally, they resemble the vehicular Autobot forms. An automaton affinity exists, and that seems enough. But there is more, much more, creatures of seemingly unending variety and shapes, all mechanically and electrically alive to the drone's senses. Back to the Ark. And resurrection. The ship's brain dispatches revival drones to reawaken its long-dormant crew. Commencing revival procedures. Things are going to get fun in a moment.
Okay.
True to its programming, the Ark alters the structure of its inhabitants, rebuilding them to be able to change their shapes in accordance with the mechanical life detected beyond the Ark, the better to ensure survivability. But its memory banks were damaged in the ages ago crash, and knowledge of the Great War was erased, thus friend and foe alike are equally subject to its attentions. We are filling in some details of why things happened the way they did in the cartoon, why it repaired Decepticons, why it gave them these forms, none of that was sort of talked about. It's an interesting point here.
Sure.
The Ark... The Ark's alterations are such that the basic nature of each robot is preserved. The Autobots are programmed to imitate earthly vehicles. The Decepticons will resemble earthly weapons and communications devices. Both factions, if necessary, can revert to their original robotic forms. Megatron, what has happened? Where are we? That's my sound wave. I don't have a live vocoder on hand. That would be cool if we could... figure out a way to hook that up.
Yeah.
The ship's brain imparted the information on locale to our circuitry. We crash-landed on this world ages ago, and have been in a state of dormancy since, until an explosion reawakened the Ark, and it revived us. The Autobots too, though groggy, have arisen from their stasis. Thus let us finish the task that has driven our kind for centuries. But first... This speech bubble here is connected to Optimus, though it is clearly Megatron talking. They didn't catch me out, though. Yeah. Are we all accounted for on this brave new world? Here we go. Skywarp's up for raiding, sir, and my teleportational power will pop me right into their midst to make mischief. As ever, your cause is thundercrackers, great Megatron. Our land-bound enemy will be picked off at will as I soar over them, striking with rockets and sonic booms. As the fastest, most maneuverable of Decepticon jet flyers, I, Starscream, shall continue to accumulate Autobot body counts that enhance the reputation of our leader. Jess, are you okay?
Yeah.
Just enjoy my voices. Enjoy my voices.
Yes.
Are you enjoying my voices?
I'm enjoying your voices.
Yeah, don't block the mic. Can the speeches, Herster? Rumble's back in town, and I'm gonna shake the place up with some low-frequency ground waves. You hit 'em from up top, and I'll do the job down here. And I, Frenzy, will shatter our opponent's equilibrium using high-pitched sound waves. I will not cease until every Autobot is slain. And you, Soundwave? Rumble and Frenzy have the same voice, don't they?
Yeah.
And I, Frenzy, will shatter our opponent's equilibrium using high-pitched sound waves. I will not cease until every Autobot is slain. Sorry, wait, I messed up there. I just read Frenzy's line again as Soundwave. Sorry. Getting lost in the sea of info dumping. Let's try that again, take 2.
Okay.
I will monitor transmissions and read Autobot electrical impulses to learn their plans. Even my photographic memory serves as a defensive weapon.
Photographic memory, isn't that belongs to someone else?
Who?
The Transformers that transform into a camera.
They're not here.
They're not here.
No, they were told to be removed from the story, but the cartoon didn't get the memo early enough. That's why they disappear very early on.
Right.
Hasbro decided not to sell that toy. But then, after a year, it decided, 2 years, I think, it provided it in 86 as a mail-away.
Right.
You could get it as a mail-away item.
Okay.
Very strange. It's even stranger than Jetfire's story.
So what? Soundwave is just gonna get that power?
He's going to get that power.
Okay.
Does even that compare with Ravage's power to slip undetected anywhere? And my own monitoring devices in my nose module allow me to smell, hear, and detect electromagnetic radiation beyond that of any Decepticon.
Oh, the one-upmanship. And now, here's your two...
In all places next to the artistry of Buzzsaw, I can pinpoint a hex nut at 20 miles with my optical sensors, and my beak has carved many an Autobot warrior into a masterpiece of scrap metal.
Buzzsaw, who you've never heard from before, and don't expect to hear much from in the future.
Yeah.
Just leave some for Laserbeak, comrades. Allow me a few struggling survivors of our battle, and I'm certain I'll pay some useful information from them with my optical lasers, even if they die in the telling.
How do you feel about the voices I've given to Buzzsaw and Laserbeak?
Yeah.
Yeah? They've never spoken in G1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Everyone gets to speak. Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank goodness there aren't that many Decepticons. We're done.
Okay.
Beware of the next page.
Oh God. 20 characters, maybe.
18.
Come, our time to strike is later. The ship's brain has placed into our circuits the knowledge that this world possesses enormous untapped fuel resources. Resources we can exploit in our struggle against the Autobots.
Why not strike now, my leader? End the Autobot threat, and this world is ours for the taking. What flawed logic persuades you otherwise?
Sound logic persuades me. We are still weak ourselves, and few in number. One of our mightiest is missing, our fuel sources uncertain. Should our attack fail, the might of Optimus could well decide the outcome. No, we leave. We will fight Starscream, but at a time and place of our choosing. At that, Megatron orders his Decepticons to turn and retreat, and while retreating, to transform.
Or as he might say these days,
Decepticons, transform and rise up.
Yep.
just filling that in.
Yep.
Yeah? You like to hear him say that.
Yeah.
Doesn't say it
Yeah.
enough.
No.
How's my Starscream?
Yeah.
What do you think of Starscream's characterization?
Um,
He's not just saying, I want to take over Megatron. That's a slight improvement on the cartoon episode 1, where his first line is, I should be in command.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Megatron says, shut up. Let's get on with it.
Yeah. Just constantly undermining Megatron's authority by
Undermine it in a subtle, passive-aggressive way. I like that as a Starscream characterization.
Yeah.
You should do that more often. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I feel like my brain is melting.
This is a page spread that can strike fear into the hearts of some people. Mainly me when I'm performing it, but
Oh boy.
come back. I need a drink.
What sweet hell are we about to enter
Don't
into?
worry, we don't do this again. This is issue 1 teething troubles. Issue 1 teething troubles.
Okay.
Look, I'm pretty sure most people mock this. Most people mock these couple of pages of the comic.
Okay.
It was a thing. It was a toy sell. It's a toy selling. It's the toy commercial thing. It's a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Decepticons tear through the Ark's ancient walls and flee out of the volcano. Did you see their shapes, Great Optimus? Warlike forms, native to this world, no doubt. The Ark has given us the information necessary to understand this prowl. Apparently, we can now transform into likenesses of beings who inhabit this world, as the Decepticons have done. Now, let me ensure that our people have survived intact. Have each survived intact. Ironhide's ready to roll, Optimus. I may be old and ornery, but my steel alloy skin hasn't been dented yet in battle, and I got a bunch of new liquids I want to test out in my water gun. Yes, sirree.
Yeah?
Yep.
What do you think of Ironhide's character model?
What?
That's the toy.
What?
Ironhide and Ratchet, that's what they look like as toys. They don't have faces.
What?
You know this, don't you? Don't you know this by now? But remember, these toys were not originally sentient robots. Diaclone. They're just mecha. They're all piloted mecha. And Ratchet and Ironhide are the type of piloted mecha where the human just stands behind the windscreen and controls it.
So there's just no head. No
head. Yeah. They adapted them very heavily for the character models, which have not been provided for this issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of people are shocked when they see those toys if they were not. It's not something they're familiar with.
Oh, I say we leave right now and forget about traipsing after the stupid Decepticons. I'll use my stress testing senses and mathematical skill to rebuild the Ark and get us back to Cybertron where we belong.
Do you know who that is? He didn't say his name, which is bad toy selling.
Yeah.
Say your name. Introduce
Yeah.
us. Do you know who that was? Do you recognize him?
I do not recognize.
That's Huffer.
That's Huffer?
That's Huffer. He doesn't look
What? Poor Huffer.
that. He doesn't look that
What
different.
happened to
He
you?
doesn't look that different.
Come on, Hoffer, get with it. I only require a drop of fuel to run, so I'm going to explore this whole planet, especially since the Ark sits so much of it is water, and Bumblebee's little levers love a good swim.
They do. It's a little known aspect of Bumblebee.
Well, Sunstreaker isn't leaving until the rest of this world gets a look at the sleekest Autobot in the bunch. And if any Decepticon dares to mess with the finish, he'll get 2 ground-to-air missiles stuffed where he won't want them.
That's not him.
My dashing auto.
Yeah, he's the original Trax. Yeah,
Yes.
Trax stole his bit and did it better.
If you were as fast as Cliffjumper is, Sunstreaker, you wouldn't worry about your finish. And while I'm dodging fire, my glass gas can make any Decepticon brittle as ice.
Huh. Brawn don't need any gas to rip things up. Nobody's stronger than me. One punch in your building or Decepticon goes bye-bye. Sideswipe's right up there with you, Brawn, because I use my arms as pile drivers. I admit it's a little rash to rush headlong at Decepticon fortifications, but not one of them stopped me yet.
We're only halfway. Oh boy.
Frankly, I'd rather be elsewhere hunting turbo foxes than with you roughnecks. But while we're here, my electro disruptor is charged up. It not only interferes with Decepticon circuitry, it also makes me appear to be where I'm not. That's why I'm called Mirage. Nice to hear how you got your name, Mirage. Now I got mine Blue Streak by being as fast as a Blue Streak, whatever that is. Some whack guys even said I talk a Blue Streak, whatever that is. Anyway, here I am. Listening to you, Blue Streak takes even the endless patience of Prow. Taxes even the endless patience of Prow. I have little to say, but my logic center dictates the most advantageous course of action in any situation.
He is a bit like Odo from DS9.
Ah, well, he was conceived as being more like Spock, I think. But,
Well, being the cop on the block
yeah,
makes him like Odo.
that would be interesting to characterize him like Odo. Interesting.
Well, that is neato, pal. But me and Jazz, I like to just cruise around and take in the sights. And if I've got to fight, well, my photon rifle and overhead flamethrowers can make things hot for the big nasties.
You burn them, Jazz, and let Hound sniff them out for you. My infrared radiation collector makes me the best tracker on or off Cybertron. And if I ever get lost, my hologram gun projects terrain maps to get me back on track.
How's my Jimmy Stewart? We were just watching Rear Window the other night, so I got to practice my Jimmy Stewart.
Oh,
It's a hologram.
It's a hologram.
It's a hologram.
Just let Windcharger zoom ahead and scrap a Decepticon between my magnetic arms. I'll take in this planet's scenery later.
And as usual, Windcharger has nothing interesting to say.
Yeah.
Poor Windcharger.
The only thing Gears wants to learn about this planet is how to get off it. I hate this place already. I just know you gotta use me as a mobile transport unit again. Once we have to set up. Nuts. Let's go home.
Gears is never short on character. He stole all of Windcharger's character. It's a real shame that they put Ratchet right after Gears, because they have the same voice actor.
Well, at least you don't have to patch Autobots up like old Ratchet does when one of us busts himself up playing hero. But I've got the tools to fix anything, even though I'd rather be partying than tinkering.
That's a little aspect of his early bio. He's a party animal, remember?
And Wheeljack is the guy you've had to patch up the most.
Hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Wheeljack was fully formed from day one.
I can't help it. I love to mess with gadgets, especially our weaponry, like my shoulder cannons. I try to be careful, but sometimes it doesn't work. Thanks for being around, Ratchet, old buddy.
And also Ratchet and Wheeljack were gay from day one.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
It was too mega.
It was too mega.
I don't know how many times I, Trailbreaker, had to use my force field projector and hide behind my own barrier when you're experimenting with those shrapnel shells. You're worse than a wild Decepticon, Wheeljack.
Trailbreaker. You remember Trailbreaker? No, you don't. Alright, we got through it. What'd you think of all my voices? It did give me a chance to test out all of my voices of these many characters.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
God, that was exhausting.
Can you imagine how exhausting it was to do it while getting all those voices right?
At least we can be thankful that all of us have survived to this point, and perhaps even our Ark is not irretrievably damaged. What say you, Huffer?
I don't need any detailed analysis to know the damage was extreme, but I guess I'll have to take a census survey to see just how great.
Damage report. Believe me, you don't want to know. Also, Huffer, I feel like Huffer could become a little bit rat trapped. I could imagine Huffer saying, "We're all gonna die."
Yeah, yeah.
And don't always be so pessimistic, Huffer. It's hard enough to keep everyone's gears in gear without you gumming up their motivation circuits. Or without gears being so annoying.
That wasn't in the script. That was a little extra.
Yeah. Who's the G1 voice director?
Wally Burr.
Wally Burr.
Would he be satisfied with my performance?
My comrades, we must accept the sad truth that Cybertron may no longer even exist. But if it does, I swear as leader of the Autobots, I shall return us there someday. But our immediate concern must be the repair of the Ark and the learning of all we can about this alien world where fate has cast us. Let Auntie transmit signals she is receiving from across this world and place them on the monitor screens that we may partake of knowledge, our greatest weapon.
Oh yes, I'm sure we'll return to Cybertron. Yes, someday. Someday.
Well, isn't that a nice line? Partake of knowledge, our greatest weapon.
Yeah.
And Auntie. Who's Auntie? So Auntie was the original name for the ship's computer they conceived.
Ah.
And then they thought better of it. They said cancel Auntie. But the name ends up in this issue and also ends up in an early UK issue as a central character in a story you'll see later, but then is forgotten about. Whereas in the cartoon, they called it Teletran 1. Yeah?
Yep.
They don't use that name here. So, yeah. It's Auntie. Yeah?
Yeah. The only
She's the original Thai.
yeah.
Yeah?
The only girl is
The only
the
girl.
main computer.
Yeah, just like in RID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if Auntie would have had the same voice as the Star Trek computer voice.
I don't know that voice.
We hear it every episode.
We do?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Well,
I wish I had a converge.
For the next few hours, the Autobots stand motionless, their memory receptors absorbing masses of information regarding the machine life that seems predominant upon this planet. Soon, armed with this knowledge, they will venture forth. Life. The Ark's sensors did not detect it here those millennia ago when we sought to pass through the asteroid belt nearby. And all of it unaware of the Decepticon menace in its midst. Our mission is clear.
wait, hold on. So, that's still Optimus. No, I screwed up again.
And all of it unaware of the Decepticon menace in its midst. Our mission is clear. The renegade Decepticons are to be found and defeated. It is our fault they are here, thus it is our duty to see to their downfall. Optimus, this world is fascinating. My reconnaissance missions will be far more exciting than mere logistics gathering. Agreed, Hound. But let us never forget our primary purpose, to spare this world from the scourge we have unwittingly unleashed upon it.
Yeah?
Yep.
So, we're under a bit of a misunderstanding. A bit like in the pilot, Transformers Animated. Remember? We think that the machines are the dominant life form.
Right, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that was
yes.
reused in Animated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elsewhere in the state of Aragon, life, carbon-based, goes on. Boring.
Yeah.
So we're in Oregon.
Yeah?
That's not stated in the cartoon.
No. The coolest state in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah. The weird state.
Yeah.
Proud of being weirdos.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great for Transformers.
We get all of the advantages of living in California without all of the downsides of living in California.
Yeah.
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 And the weather's better. Fewer earthquakes.
Buster! Uh-oh. I can hear it coming. Here's where I get the "where were you after school" lecture. But I can't blame Dad. He's right. Son, I've tried to be understanding. I know you haven't got the slightest interest in cars or mechanical things. But regardless, there are still times when I need you here. Sorry, Dad. You know I'm in the literary scholarship program, and there's so much library work involved I have to stay after school sometimes. But if I do get that scholarship, it'll mean you have a lot less bills to pay when I go to college. I know you're doing your best, son, but you've always got your nose buried in a book, and that bothers me. I just wish you were doing something more useful for you, something that'll lead to a job one day. You know what I mean? Sure, Dad. I'll try, really. Well, I've just about got everything wrapped up here now, so go ahead. If you want to go to the movies with your buddies, okay. Just be back by 10. On the dot. I'll see you, Dad. Buster, I hope you know I'm only thinking of you. The world is full of folks that'll eat you right up if you don't show 'em you can do something. And that you learn by living, not reading.
So Buster,
Buster.
not Spike. Yeah?
Yep.
And his dad, who may or may not be Sparkplug.
Yep.
We'll find out. What do you think? This is a very different way to how we're introduced to our two human friends in the cartoon. This is actual proper storytelling, as opposed to we're just randomly working on an oil rig and suddenly we're under attack, and then we meet some Autobots like, hey, let's be friends.
Yeah.
And this is actually like how a Transformers story normally starts, where you set up the ordinary life as a human before your world. You go down the rabbit hole and your world is changed forever. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This feels like just such a classic 1980s, 1970s style story trope that
Do you mean that in a good way or a bad way?
I mean it in both senses.
Okay.
The idea that children have a natural romance, yearning, thinking about what if, and they're pondering the possibilities of existence, and the adults who have been brutalized by the real world are sick and tired of it, and they're trying to say, this isn't going to work. If you have a dream, you're going to have your dreams broken, and your life is going to be crushed. The best thing you can do is to just give up already, and just learn a white collar trade, and find your role in the capitalist economy, and then you'll be content.
Well, also, I mean, I'm pretty sure they seem like they're blue collar family, so it's also like Buster wants to do something more than what his family would normally get to do, but whereas Sparkplug is like he doesn't expect that could be possible. So
yes.
it also adds an element of class commentary,
Yes,
which is nice. Do you think this is good conflict then? This is not cheap.
No.
Conflict.
This is a genuine generational class. Cultural idea.
Did we get anything like that with Spike in the G1 cartoon?
No.
No. So this is nice.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
is nice.
It's
Also, it says here Wiki and repairs. So I assume he is Sparkplug Witwicky.
Yeah.
Buster Witwicky. What do you think about that they went with the name Buster instead of Spike? There was a bit of a mix-up, I believe. It was meant to be consistent with both versions, and it's a bit confusing. I think it was like it was one was crossed out, another was chosen, but then it didn't go to both. I forget which one it was, but I think Spike was crossed out, I believe, in the Bible. But then Spike happened anyway. Yeah. Which do you prefer?
Oh boy.
What name do you
But they're both good names.
Yeah.
In that. So.
I like the Buster wears a pink shirt. That's nice.
Yeah.
Of course, back in the 80s, men wore pink all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Very important.
I think the best male character names are the ones that you can patronize or feminize when they're children, and then they can become graduated. So, you have a child whose formal name is John, but you call them Jackie when they're children, and then Jack, and then John once they're adults. That sort of thing. And so, sure, you call them an affectionate name, but they actually have a formal name that you won't...
Yeah, Billy, and then later it's William.
Yeah. But so Buster and Spike are both that type of name. They probably have real names that you just wouldn't...
What are they?
Well, we know what Buster is.
Yeah, we do.
Is we?
Is it?
Oh,
is
God.
it a real name?
Oh God!
I don't think it is.
But there are people who are called Buster.
There are?
Yeah.
Are there people called Spike? There's Spike Spiegel and Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Buster is just a name.
All right.
Oh, okay. Buster is just a name. And what about Spike?
No,
Really?
that's not short for anything.
Oh, you're right. But now I'm just confused. All right.
Well, which would you go with?
I think
If you had to choose between those two names,
I
which
think
would...
Buster is a better name.
All right, Marvel Comics are winning.
Not far away, a hitchhiker seeks a ride on a lonely highway winding down the side of Mount St. Hilary. I've had my thumb out all day and I ain't seen a single car. Looks like I may be hoofing it all the way to town. Whoa, maybe I spoke too soon. But that can't be one car making all that noise. Heck, it sounds like the Indy 500. Holy smokes, a whole slew of cars traveling at top speed, and nobody's driving. Well, Prowl, you're leading this expedition, so when do I get to start throwing punches? Optimus has assigned us the task of reconnaissance, Brawn. We are to avoid hostile contact unless absolutely necessary. I'm with Bron. Let me at him. Stay in line, Cliff Jumper. You'll get your chance on my command only.
Prowl is already getting a lot more characterization than he did in the cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Odo.
Odo.
Wanna bet, Bron, that I'll be the first to spot an Earthling?
What do you make of all this, Hound? Nobody noticed things like you do. I wish I had half your tracking talents. I'm too busy sorting my impressions out to give you an opinion, Bumblebee. But I'll let you know.
This is a silly voice.
Prowl, my turret scope is locked onto some vital machine signs just over this ridge.
Prepare for contact, Autobots. Defensive modes if necessary. Reaching the top of the ridge, the transformed Autobots draw silently to a stop. Senses sweeping the scene below, they strain to understand what it is they are scanning.
Is that them, Prowl? Have we found the Earthlings?
I don't know, Bumblebee.
They look like the inhabitants the Ark scanned. But what was that giant screen? What were they all doing assembled before it?
Probably some kind of religious ritual, Hound.
Why would machines worship moving pictures of strange objects?
No, we've got another error. That should be Bumblebee. It's pointing to Brawn.
Why would machines worship moving pictures of strange objects?
The only way we're gonna find out, Bumblebee, is to ask. High above. This is Decepticon Laserbeak reporting to Decepticon leader Megatron. The Autobots have ventured forth from the volcano and seek to make contact with this planet's inhabitants. Laserbeak's message causes consternation among the Decepticons assembled on an inaccessible mountain peak. The Autobots, in alliance with the inhabitants of Earth.
We cannot allow that, Megatron.
We have already learned that Earth possesses abundant fuel resources that we can exploit as we prepare for the conquest of this world. We must deny those resources to our enemies. Go forth then, my Decepticons. Destroy the Autobots. Their curiosity piqued by this strange ritual, the Autobots move into the drive-in.
All right, how many? Come on, you pay by the head, you know.
And they speed right past the startled cashier. I'm gonna be the first to greet an Earthling. Bumblebee, come back. We must reconnoiter first.
You can't check the exuberance of youth, Prowl.
And in a nearby car.
Smooching.
Hey, Buster, Jesse, could you two disengage so I could see the movie? Sorry, O. Hey! What the heck? We've been hit. Bumped from behind by a fender-bending beetle. Dad'll cream me.
What? These days have me something else.
Listen, Say, that's weird. No one's in there. Did its brakes slip so that it rolled into Dad's car? Or is this some kind of joke?
Buster's question goes unanswered as the Decepticons attack. Vroom!
Ah! Jumpin' jet fighters, this place has just become a war zone. Buster, we've got to get away from here. You and O go for help, Jess. I've got to stay.
Hey. Jess.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
It's not Carly.
No.
It's Jessica.
Yeah. Redhead.
How can I possibly tell them that I thought I heard this Volkswagen cry out in pain? And no one's inside. I have to find out what's happening. This is almost beyond belief. The Decepticons have launched an assault and the Earth vehicles have done absolutely nothing to defend themselves. Can this strange ritual be so overwhelming an experience that it has put the Earth robots in a trance? Or was the data from the Ark wrong? I must put my logic circuits to work on this. Prowl, I don't intend on sitting here all day being used for target practice. I say we make a stand here and now.
I had hoped to Optimus we could avoid this, but it seems our adversaries have left us little choice. Assume defensive configurations.
Yeah, give me the transformation sound effect. Very good.
Now you're talking my lingo.
Oh my god, there's more. Surely that's the
No,
moment
still-
for the
No, we're still going.
to be continued.
I'm sorry.
Who will win in this standoff in the drive-in theater? Find out.
I told you it was long,
Oh my god.
even though it's only 25 pages, but all that.
How much?
There's a couple of pages.
Oh my
couple,
God.
Couple of pages.
All right.
I told Megatron this frontal assault tactic he's so fond of is foolish, Thundercracker. Guile and strength are far more effective than missiles in the long run.
We have to follow Megatron's way, Starscream. It's been successful up to now. I don't think we should openly defy him as you've been known to do.
You see, Starscream, Megatron's strong. You can't compete with him.
Get close to me, 'cause I can take the brunt of their firepower without flinching. Come, Starscream. Surely you don't fear to strike at a foe that is unable to fly, do you? Try to take a bite out of me, will you, Laserbeak? Well, here's something to chew on, you tin-foil turkey. I'll hold my attack for just a moment until the Decepticon scum gets just within range, and then...
Thundercracker, look! Cliffjumper is alone! Slay him!
So, Starscream, you strike at me because you think isolation makes me vulnerable? You've obviously never flown in the face of my glass gas gun.
Ah! The gas coats me, making my metal brittle and breakable as glass!
As the TF Wiki says, Starscream and Cliffjumper team up to sell his toy. That's good of Starscream to help out there.
Flee, Thundercracker! Fly!
I hope my comrades have witnessed my triumph. But Cliffjumper's companions have other concerns at the moment.
We must not let the battle divert us from locating our friends. Bumblebee! The little one may be lying somewhere hurt, or worse.
Hound's tracking abilities would soon pick up Bumblebee's trail, were not the Autobots' own immediate location suddenly revealed to the Decepticons by one who skulks in the shadows.
Ravage! Finally you reveal yourself, Master Spy! Now back to your leader Megatron and tell him who defeated you this day! I can imagine Ravage's anger were he to learn that he fled from nothing more than dimensional holograms cast by my turret gun.
Oh, poor Ravage. You've been humiliated.
Yeah.
It's only issue 1.
It will only be a matter of time before my concussion cannon strikes, and there will be 2 less Autobots clanking around. Cliffjumper, my logic circuits have determined that the Ark was in error. Look, do you see the movement exhibited by those bizarre-looking objects? Yeah, but what does it mean? It means that the mechanical vehicles we saw were not alive, but those small figures are. That's why the vehicles made no move to defend themselves. They are not sentient. When they move upon the roadway we saw, the small beings were controlling them. What we are seeing is non-machine life, as hard as that may be to accept. That is the only logical explanation.
It does feel like Prowl is in Star Trek.
Yeah.
This is like, it's from our perspective, it's some aliens dealing with us. But if you put it from the Transformers perspective, it is like how the Enterprise crew are often dealing with a new life form that doesn't make sense to their rules.
Yep. There's a whole pile of episodes that are just like this.
Yeah.
Life, but not as we know it.
Yeah, but this was not in the G1 cartoon at all.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a little bit of it in animated.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think? Is it interesting?
Yeah.
Obviously, this changes things. Obviously, this changes things considerably. What should we do next? Next, we report our findings to Optimus Prime, in person. Radio waves can be monitored. Only he possesses the wisdom we need to deal with these new contingencies. Follow me to the Ark, Autobots.
But what of our small friend Bumblebee?
Perhaps he was not injured too badly and has already left. In any case, we must leave immediately and draw the Decepticons' fire, because these non-mechanical life forms do not appear capable of defending themselves. And not far away. The noises coming from this car are really weird. Almost like crying. It's been badly damaged, leaking something that looks like but isn't oil. And I haven't got the slightest idea what to do for it. I'm no mechanic. That's Dad's field. Dad? Say, if I can get this bug to his garage, he'll know how to patch it up. And so Buster Witwicky climbs behind Bumblebee's wheel, only to discover... no key, no ignition, no gas pedal. Now, how does this car start? All by itself? It's moving out slowly, sluggishly. Seems like all I'm doing is guiding it away from the battlefield. Holy smokes, am I dreaming, or did those big robots who are fighting the planes just change into cars? Buster gets no chance, however, to further observe the Autobots' escape. For subject only to his steering it where he wants it to go, the yellow Volkswagen whisks him away. Later that night. Bang! Clang! What the deuce? Somebody's messing around in my garage. What's that? Oil? Buster? That you, son? What the devil? Dad, listen. Hey, don't tell me. After all my years of trying to get you to put down the poetry and pick up a monkey wrench, looks like you finally took your old dad's advice. Fixing cars on the side, are ya? Dad, I can explain. No need to explain, son. My shop's your shop. Use it any time you want. But I just want you to know, son, that I'm proud of you. Right proud.
Yeah, I like this scene.
Oh, it almost feels like...
It feels like he was a father who was worried about his son being gay and then discovers him with a girl, and normally you should be outraged, but he's so delighted that he's straight, he's just like, good on you, son.
Oh, man.
It's just as amusing and a misunderstanding.
Yes.
Dad, I wouldn't know how to fix a car if I tried. That's why I brought this one to you. Only, it's not a car. It's got wheels, boy, and fenders, headlights too. Just what would you call it? Alive! Help me, please. I'm dying.
Next issue. Hey, buddy, can you spare some fuel?
Which is not actually what it ended up being called.
Ah.
Yeah, they ended up calling it Power Play.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not doing...
We changed the title in between the month of of the first issue and the second.
So we're not doing the sheep in the big city thing where every episode is a pun?
No.
No.
Sorry.
Okay.
But you prefer that original title.
Yeah, that's funnier.
Yeah, I like it. Oh boy, there we go. We did it.
Oh,
We did it. Oh,
God, that's exhausting. Make sure that we put the bookmark somewhere.
that's okay. It's only issue 1. I know what to do.
But it comes with a bookmark.
Hey, you do it.
The bookmark.
My legs were getting tired with that heavy thing on top.
Ugh.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So... okay.
What do you want to talk about?
So... what's to be said?
How's it compare to episode 1 of the cartoon? Which is also full of craziness.
The thing is... okay, so... the G1 cartoon decided pretty early on, in the middle of episode 2, that it was just going to be a show of Autobots versus Decepticons, and the only thing that would change would be the terrain, location, MacGuffins, gimmicks, inventions, so forth. New characters. And that was it. It would only stay on this one level. And so you can watch episode after episode of G1, and it's basically exactly the same in terms of a horizontal level. The only thing that changes is the vertical. But so the thing that doesn't happen is things that go deeper or bigger, except for very specific episodes of G1 which decide to try to fill in the lore, and it gets kind of weird. But this, we decide to right away get down to the intimate details of trying to create a situation where Buster and Bumblebee are together so that they can develop a friendship, and it's
not
like E.T. or...
Well, it's not too dissimilar, is it, from the Bumblebee movie?
Yes.
Yeah,
Not too...
Bumblebee gets injured in battle and ends up being taken care of by an ordinary human in with a garage fixing him up. Do you think the people working on the Bumblebee film had a look at this comic? It's quite, since it's the first issue, it's quite conceivable that you'd look at that.
It's
like
it's E.T. It's
yeah.
Free Willy.
Yeah.
It's Lilo and Stitch.
It's classic.
It's the vibe.
Yeah, it's Marbo. yeah, and it really makes the G1 cartoon look bad for missing such an obvious way to start the story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then in the G1 pilot, Hound is the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah, inexplicably.
Yeah.
It's a hologram.
I can't get over how bad the typeface is. It's so bold. It's so bold. It's really difficult to read. I really feel
Look how much text there is on these two pages.
Yeah. I really feel like the decision of the font and
I thought with how big these pages are, it wouldn't be too bad, you know? Like, I thought this would be easier than reading scans on a Kindle or on the screen or whatever. Yeah. So it's well, do you think the font would be better if there wasn't so much text? Then you could make it a larger font, but because they've packed in so much text, it has to be too small.
Yeah.
It's overwritten, and I'm not just talking about those info dump toy selling moments, but it's overwritten.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll change. Maybe that'll adjust. We'll see. Yeah, issue 1 TV problem.
Yeah.
Tell me about characterization.
Well, so it obviously suffers from the same issue that G1 suffers from, which is that there's too many characters, and so most of them, like 75% of the characters of G1 are indescribable.
Yeah.
And it's just a tiny minority that get interesting character, and that's why obviously...
Well, it's good that we had a small group of them go on a mission in the latter part of the issue, yeah?
Yeah, I feel like the Beast Wars Star Trek model of having 7 or 8 main characters is so much better.
Yes, we're going to do a video on that.
Yes, but rather than... God, how many Autobots are there?
There's 18.
1, 2,
There's 18.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
I know how many
12,
there
13,
are.
14.
There's 18.
Oh my god. Like, you don't need 9 of these people.
I know, but that's how many toys we were told to sell. It's a toy commercial.
Jeez. So,
Poor Decepticons are outnumbered.
So, I do, the Bumblebee movie is so great because it gets those ideas of the romance of youth, of wanting to live your life and achieve your dreams, and you find an alien best friend who believes in you, whereas all of the adults in your life are telling you to get your head out of the clouds.
Yeah, so aren't you amazed to discover that those elements have been in the story from the beginning?
Yeah.
They were just ignored by the cartoon. Yeah?
Yeah. They're here.
Yeah.
There isn't that much here to Spike, to Buster.
They're the same person.
Just yet.
Yeah.
There's we just get like a couple of lines about his motivations.
Yeah.
Which isn't much to go on. But we'll have to see if there's chance to expand over time.
Yeah.
Add extra details in. Because, exactly what does he want to do with his life?
Well, he wants to do something creative, doesn't he?
Yeah.
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 That's something you can understand.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Well, so one of the things that Bob Budiansky said is that he was interested in the relationship between Transformers and humans, Transformers trying to live on Earth, robots in disguise, and interactions with humans or being almost discovered by humans. That's one of the sides of the story he was most interested in, and as we well know, the cartoon was not interested in that, in spite of the fact that being robots in disguise is a key element of the brand that you're meant to be selling.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Yeah.
They announce themselves to humans within the first few episodes, and they're always just, people know who they are, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And even many of the other iterations over the years have not done much with the concept, you know? It comes up most prominently in the 2005 series Cybertron and in Rescue Bots, right? But in most of the other shows, there isn't, you know, there's not much to do with that.
Yeah.
But it also comes out in the Michael Bay movie, in the first Michael Bay movie, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Bob said that he really liked the '07 movie. He said he felt that the '07 movie was closer to his interpretation of Transformers than the cartoon. He appreciated that. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Wow.
Bob is not someone who, you know, is hugely passionate about Transformers and has really stuck with it over the years. He, you know, it was just a job to him. He was a jobbing Marvel writer, and, you know, he treated it like any other job. And so, like, 20 years later, he hadn't really thought about it much, and then fans, you know, come to him asking him to go to conventions and do interviews, and he hadn't really sort of taken much notice of how Transformers had changed over the years, and that it was still, there was a huge following. He was astonished that people loved his original work, that they still cared about it, you know? It's really sweet.
Yeah. So you can see where this story is probably gonna go.
Well, we've got a 4-issue mini, so we don't, at this point, we don't know if it's going to be anything more than that. So
Yeah.
we've got to try and tell a story in 4 of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next issue, I assume, is going to be the massive meeting of minds of cross-cultural contamination of Buster and Bumblebee exploring each other's backgrounds, becoming friends, understanding each other's different viewpoints, and then in the 3rd issue, Bumblebee returns to the Autobots. Optimus has made all sorts of mistakes in assuming things about humans.
Yeah.
And Bumblebee goes, "No, Optimus, I know what humans are like. This
Yeah.
is not the way to do things." And then Optimus is like, "You're right, Bumblebee. I've been wrong this whole time. We're going to go with your way." And then the Autobots are able to save the day in the end, in the final issue. And then they can go home, and it's all wrapped up.
Yeah. Well, you might be quite shocked by issue 3.
You can see the 4-act structure.
Yeah, sure. Makes sense to me. Yeah.
So yes.
Would you? I asked you about that little hint about the Ark and its secrets, but there was another thing I didn't mention. Megatron said one of our mightiest is missing.
Yes.
And who's the mighty one that's missing? Any theories on that?
Shockwave.
That's all? Yeah, fair enough.
Jetfire.
He's not a Decepticon. That was just something the cartoon thought of doing.
Is there any other famous?
Well, not at this point, no.
No.
It's got to be Shockwave, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, what did you think of my performance?
You did really good performances.
It was, I was getting a little worried towards the end. I was like, please, no more Megatron and Soundwave lines, please.
Yes.
How does Frank do it?
How-
Oh, the master.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's really difficult to have a bunch of chest voices, but then a bunch of throat voices.
Well, you
like
know,
Optimus and Ironhide.
Yeah, but you know what makes it harder is sitting down. It would be a lot easier to do if we were standing up and reading it. Maybe we need to reconfigure how we record these. Maybe it'd be easier if you held the book and we have the camera on you. You turn the pages.
Okay.
Because honestly, it helps me with my performance to be able to physically move, just like Frank.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, when Frank does Megatron, he's go like this. Yeah. yeah, having the book on top of me, that does kind of inhibit my chest a bit. But also sitting down is not. Yeah, sitting down is hard for the heavy, gravelly voices. For the hello,
Hello.
we've got a friend here.
Charlie. Hello, Charlie.
Come to join us.
Charlie.
First
Fine.
time getting featured in a video.
Yeah, Charlie. You know, you have to wonder. Around 1991, 1992,
Yes, when G1 was definitely thoroughly dead.
and G1 was thoroughly dead, the conception of Beast Wars was still several years away.
There was still a twinkle in the eye of Hasbro.
You think, what if we tried to turn the comics into a little DTV movie
Oh yeah.
instead of reruns?
So no one has ever tried to adapt any Transformers comic onto the screen. For years, people have clamored for some of the IDW stuff to be adapted. There's some classic IDW miniseries, one that really sticks out is Last Stand of the Wreckers. People always want to see that turned into something like a DTV. This is stuff that DC does all the time, right?
Yeah.
But would you be interested to see the Marvel comics adapted for the screen? What if the first 4-issue miniseries was turned into a little thing? You think that would, now that you've read the first issue, do you think that would be a worthwhile idea?
It seems perfectly good. I mean, it's not gonna.
I mean, Hasbro loves milking G1. If you want to milk G1 some more and give some fans things that the G1 fans think they'll love, it's a no-win.
I mean,
It's an easy win kind of idea.
the thing is, there are so many of these animated Batman, Spider-Man, Superman movies that aren't really that good and were kind of cheaply made. Why can't
Why can't we have a cheaply made, not that good? At least it would be better than Siege.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Why can't we have Attack on Arkham? Why can't we have
Well, considering Siege did not really do anything novel and new with the franchise and really did seem to just appeal to old G1ers, you'd think doing something like that would appeal more to that crowd.
Yeah.
There is a big rumor right now that there is going to be an adaptation of the current comics from Skybound, which are very popular, which does seem like an obvious thing to do, and that it is going to be similar to the Invincible series.
Right.
So I think there's a very decent likelihood of that being true, but we'll have to wait and see if that comes to pass. That'll be the first ever adaptation of Transformers comic.
Okay.
So the question remains, was this a worthwhile endeavor that we should continue? Should we continue? Do you want to do the first 4 issues and see how we stand there?
Yeah.
You're not ready to say we're going to tackle the entire Marvel oeuvre, which is, I don't know how many actual stories it is, because it's very complicated.
Yeah.
The US run is 80 issues plus the 12 of G2. The UK run combines that with its own stuff, which was a total of 300 and something issues. So it's very hard to say the exact number,
Yeah.
but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of
It's a
stuff.
lot.
So it's a daunting task
It's a daunting task if it takes 90 minutes.
to read. This is one issue. I mean, the UK issues are a lot shorter, so it'd probably be like 2 or 3 UK issues would be the same length as that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's still a lot of stuff. It would be interesting to calculate the numbers, the total page count.
Yeah.
But
It's just we'll have to play it by ear.
yeah, but would you enjoy hearing me
Sure.
perform more of these? Is it easier than you reading them yourself? I mean, how in terms of you following as a
Sure.
comic narrative, how did that feel compared to?
I mean, it
reading?
still has its problems.
Yeah.
Even having you do it, it's amazing the bad storytelling structure of these, where there's so much dialogue and yet most of it is unhelpful. So let's see if I can get an example. So there's the fight at the drive-in theater. Buster gets into Bumblebee and drives away, and then eventually gets out of the chaos of the fight and is safe, and then it's Silent driving at night, gets home and is now thinking about what is he going to do, and then takes Bumblebee to the garage, and that's when he gets accosted by his father.
Yeah.
That whole process felt really clumsy to me.
Okay.
Even though when you look at the panels and you can understand your head, it seems like it should be a smooth process, but it's just I felt really, that it was really clumsily constructed. And it might just be that's just a problem with comics.
I don't think it's the problem with comics. I think, I mean, one of the things you have to remember is these comics, this is a machine. This is being, this is not a labor of love. This is not a passion project. I mean, you're being hired by Hasbro and Marvel to do, this is a toy commercial, and you've just got to churn these out every month, the artist and the writers. And it's a credit to all of them that there is, stuff that has held the test of time at all. But like none of this was meant to be very important in the first place, And this toy line could have died within a few months, and it might have just been these 4 issues, and it would be just, there's tons of stuff like that that's just no one remembers at all. But it ended up, becoming a 40-year-long franchise, and there is some special stuff. I mean, you've already noticed some special stuff in this issue that you loved. That last scene with Spike and his father, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And there are some interesting things in here. So that's one of the things that I think is important to understand. And as I keep saying, the UK stuff is what is particularly beloved by people. And the UK stuff was a lot more free to do their own thing. And there ended up being a lot more passion from some of the people.
Yeah.
And, Simon Furman obviously made a big name for himself with the stuff that he did. And he kind of threw himself into it. And I mean, there's so many, you can imagine how difficult it is. Bob Budiansky is being told, you need to sell all of these 20 plus characters in these couple of issues, and try and tell this story, and like trying to figure out all that while still making it a coherent narrative, and you've got so little time to do it.
Yeah.
So for both the comic and the cartoon, it's a real, crazy thing to try and pull off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, a lot of those teething troubles will be ironed out after the early issues. And issue 4 does end on quite a tremendous moment, quite an iconic moment in Transformers storytelling. So I want to see what you make of that. If that doesn't hook you in for the rest of it. Wow.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Wow.
But still, in spite of the issues you have with the comic, was that fun? Was that a fun experience?
It was definitely fun.
Yeah?
It was definitely fun. Yeah. Getting to see all the similarities but differences with G1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
My voices?
Your voices. All your impersonations. With all of the holograms and
Victor Corrali? So much Victor
Corrali.
Corrali. Do you think
secret Russian agent.
Do you think you could remove almost all the narration and the story would still just flow as easily, be as understandable?
Maybe.
That'd be interesting.
It's always better to have less words
Sure.
and make the audience do all the hard work.
Sure, not tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, join us next time in this series when we do issue 2 at some point, whenever that happens.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
we've got enough mental energy to withstand. Hopefully nothing is as painful as
Mental energy is.
That
What about the
roll call.
physical energy for me?
that roll call.
We're not doing
broke
that.
my brain.
Yeah. Well, you'd be glad to know in the UK version when they published it, they cut that page out.
Oh my god. Okay.
It might have just been because they needed to cut down on pages, but they chose that page to excise.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. Well, they're not doing that again, I assure you. That never happens again in the Well. Okay. But you'll like it. It does get referenced at one point in IDW in a tongue-in-cheek, ironic way.
Okay.
By James Roberts. It's very good. It's very good.
Remember the first episode of Robots in Disguise 2001, when when all the Autobot brothers and the Predacons announced their attacks.
Yeah, and you love that.
I know because it was obviously cheesy.
Yeah, you don't think this is cheesy?
No, this is
cheesy.
This is
How is
damn-
this not cheesy? It's Marvel Comics from the 80s. It's the height of cheese. Did I not read it with so much cheese in my performance?
Oh boy.
All right. Come on.
All right, let's call it a night.
Yep. All right. So
Well-
don't forget to like and subscribe and
tune in next time.
all the things that you should
Tune
do.
in for issue 2 whenever that happens.
Yeah. Buddy, can you spare me some oil?
Yes. Until then, good night.
Good night.